you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:28-31. Hey everyone, this is Amanda from DevotionInAction.com, and we're at day 5, people. Day 5 of the 10-day Hope Challenge. And this page, I've written on there, Hope in the Lord, Soar. And I've got this kind of bird's wing, not really an eagle, because I chose like blues and greens and all kinds of weird colors for this wing. But I started out with some blue watercolor, and I'm just laying down kind of a layer of green on this one. And as I was doing it, as I was painting this part of the wing, I started to think, these colors are really bright for a bird's wing. And I started thinking about how I could kind of settle them down a little bit instead of just keeping them these extremely bright. That green is like crazy bright in person. I don't know if it's translating to camera that way or not, but so you'll see me kind of mixing up some greens and grays to kind of come into those edges where it would be shadowed, and then I end up kind of pushing it through a lot of the wing part because it really toned down that green and made it more the green that I wanted, which had some more grays in it. So never fear when you're working with watercolors. If you get the wrong color on there, you can play with it and make it the one that you want. So now I've just taken that straight up, kind of add some blue to that gray green. So now we've got this gray teal, which is a combo of the blue and the green. And I'm adding it in here. And I was trying to decide, did I want to keep that layer in the middle white, or did I want it to go in with a different color? And I didn't like the green going over there quite so much. So just kind of picking that up with the paper towel and before it dries, and letting those stay just a little bit white. And then I dried it and let it dry, and then I'm coming back in with some more layers. I brought in some more of that grayish black, and I wanted to darken up some areas on this wing. And that looks uber super dark on camera watching it now, but I just added a little bit of water to it and spread it out a little bit, and it really kind of gave it the depth that I wanted, where it was darker in certain areas and lighter in other areas. And what you want to look at if you're adding these in for the depth of like shadowing and things like that is think about where those wings, where the feathers are going to overlap, and where feathers that are closer to you are going to overlap a layer that's in the back. Along that edge, you want to add a darker tone of the color that you are using, or like a dark gray or dark brown that's watered down so that it shadows it, and we see that color through it, but we're also seeing kind of this depth that happens there. So that's what I was doing with those black, with that black and that gray. And did you notice that I had a lot of paint up on that top part of the wing, on the blue part of the wing, and when I needed paint for the other parts of the wing, I would just go up and get a little bit of that paint. And so you can do that too. I mean, it's already there. You don't have to keep going back to your palette. If you have some pooled up there and you don't want that much paint in that spot, just go get it with your brush and use it somewhere else. So that's another little thing that I don't think anybody ever talks about very much, but you see artists doing, taking paint from one place on the page and putting it somewhere else on the page. So I really was happy with the way that wing was looking, and so I wasn't gonna, beat a dead horse if I was happy with it. So I'm mixing up kind of a mustardy yellow, and I thought it might be fun to add in kind of a swoosh. And I got that yellow in there, and I thought, you know what, I really like that, but let's keep going with it. Let's make it more of a rainbow swoosh. And so I'm gonna reactivate this orange that's kind of drying up right there with some water from my water glass. And I'm going to put that underneath the yellow in a swoosh there as well. You'll notice that I got some of see how my palette's really dirty. And you can see how I've got some black around the edges, and I got some of that into it. It didn't really bother me all that much. I kind of like how textured, I guess, the yellow and the orange is with a little bit of that black. I'm reactivating the red, and I'm going to do red underneath that. So it's going to go red from the bottom, red, orange, yellow, underneath those blues and those greens of the wing. And while I'm doing that and kind of getting that color on the page, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this verse. It's a verse that you hear a lot. You'll run and not grow weary. He'll walk and not faint. Those who hope in the Lord, their strength will be renewed. But I liked the verse that came before it in this, where it talks about how God does not get tired and God does not grow weary, and his understanding is so far above our understanding. And I love that thought, that when we don't understand what's going on, when we're getting weary and tired and don't understand why things haven't changed yet, God understands, and he will impart his strength to us if we will just place our hope in him. Instead of in the world around us, instead of in our jobs, instead of in our houses or our families or our co-workers, instead of our friends, if we will place our trust in him, he will give us, he's generous with his strength and with his ability to understand things. And so he will give us understanding. He will give us strength and renew us. And when we are renewed, then we can run and not grow weary. Then we can walk and not faint. Then we will soar on wings like eagles above the things that used to trip us up and make us fall all over ourselves. And so I just found that really encouraging. We don't have to have the strength, and we don't have to have the energy in and of ourselves. We can depend on the strength and energy that God has. And so that's my whole thought behind this page. There in the corner, I've just written hashtag DIA Hope Challenge. You can use that hashtag too when you post pictures or thoughts about these devotionals in your social media accounts. So on Instagram, on Facebook, when you place something on there, you just type in hashtag, that number sign, DIA Hope Challenge. The DIA just stands for Devotion in Action. If you haven't been watching these videos or following the post until today, it just stands for Devotion in Action. And when you put that on there, then I can search hashtag DIA Hope Challenge and see what everybody's been posting really easily. And you can too. You could search hashtag DIA Hope Challenge and see all of the posts from this challenge. I always try to put that on my post. And then some other people have been posting as well. And I'm loving seeing all of your creativity and what God is doing in your lives on Facebook and Instagram and in the comments here on the blog. And I just am so thankful for all of you and being able to see what God is doing in you through this devotional. So that is really uplifting and encouraging me and giving me hope as I continue to edit these videos and get blog posts uploaded to the blog and do graphic design for it. I just am so thankful for all of you. And I'm praying for you and just trusting that God has great things in store for all of us. You'll notice that I didn't think those colors were as vibrant or as dark as I wanted them to be. And so I'm just bringing in another layer of the yellow, the orange, and the red. And it was running toward the wing and the soar a little bit. So I'm having to kind of hold my page up so the paint doesn't run. I also am not putting a lot of water on my brush as I add these second layers in. I wanted to keep it pretty dark, pretty bright, saturated color of paint. So there we go. That's basically my whole entry for today. I can't wait to see what you do and how you, what God leads you to in your creativity as you reflect on this scripture and how God does not grow weary and we can rest in his strength. So I will see you over in Facebook and on Instagram. Have a great day.